Hey, what's up guys, OP Gamer here, and today we have a lot of big news to get into, so let's get right into it. This is another episode of the Daily Gaming Report. Okay, so the first news story of today is that Sony might be working on a PS3 and PS Vita emulation for PlayStation 5. A new job ad by Sony seems to aim to bring PS3 and PS Vita emulation to the next-gen console, revealing that the company wants to hire a classical engineer. PlayStation Studios may want to work on consoles that it has been ignoring until now. Also, rumors claim that all PS3 peripherals may work on the new console, which is the PS5. As reported by the nerdstash.com, Sony might be working on PS3 and PS Vita emulation. If you tried Sony's new PlayStation Plus for the PS4 and PS5, you've probably noticed that when you explore the 400 plus games in its archives, most of the PS3 games require streaming, but the streaming service is terrible. It crashes most of the time. The PlayStation and old games fans now have new hope for PS Vita and PS3 emulator thanks to a recent job ad by PlayStation Studios. According to Kotaku, Sony recruited exclusively a classical engineer who will work as a software developer to create new emulators. And if you go to the Kotaku site, they link to a LinkedIn profile of the classical engineer. And in his description it says, "Our software development engineer position works on the tools and technology team at PlayStation Studios to support the newly relaunched classics for PS4 and PS5. Classic games run via emulation of legacy PlayStation platforms. As a classics engineer, you would work closely with a group of other engineers, producers, and QA teams to fix bugs, add new features, and develop new emulators." This definitely gives more hope for a possible PS3 emulation. Even though this hope is very tiny, at least we have some kind of hope compared to a few days ago when we for sure thought that Sony would not implement PS3 emulation due to the architecture of the PlayStation 3 being very difficult to work on. I really hope Sony goes through with this. I know it's going to be very difficult to emulate PlayStation 3 games on PS5, again due to the PS3 architecture. Fingers crossed on this one. The next big news is that Lollipop Chainsaw has finally been confirmed to have a remake that will be released in 2023. Now this game isn't very popular and played amongst many people, but it's definitely regarded as one of those underrated games. I personally never played this game, but from the gameplay that I have seen, it definitely looks like something I would love to play. But obviously due to the graphics and old gameplay mechanics, it would be pretty difficult to play it at this time. So I'm really glad that they're remaking this actually. I've seen a lot of people complain that no one asked for this, but I personally can't wait for this. It looks like a mix of Dead Rising and Devil May Cry. As reported by IGN, the game will aim to recreate the original, but Yasuda explained that the remake will feature a couple of key differences. Due to the power of new-gen hardware, the new game will feature a more realistic approach to graphics. Less welcome for fans will be the news that music licensing issues means that, as opposed to the first game's 16 licensed tracks, in the remake, aside from a few licensed tracks, the soundtrack will consist of new music. So unfortunately, if you're a fan of the old music, it seems that they will be replacing all of the old music with new ones due to licensing issues, which could be a downside or an upside depending on how you enjoyed the music of the classic. Yasuda said, "We, the original development staff on Lollipop Chainsaw, think of the game as very precious to us and did not want to leave it in limbo, where players who want to play it cannot. As such, we purchased the Lollipop Chainsaw intellectual property from Kadokawa Games and decided to develop a remake. We have already contacted Warner Bros. About development and are being supported by them in this endeavor." Do let me know your thoughts about this news. Are you excited for Lollipop Chainsaw, or is it a game that you're not interested in? Also, I really thought this was fun to talk about. There is apparently a Simpsons mod for God of War that looks really fun to play. They even have narrations for it. It's a very impressive mod, and it's one of the main reasons why I really like when Sony ports their games to PC. It's because of moments like these. There are so many mods for God of War, but this one really stood out, and so many people reposted this on Twitter and garnered so many likes, hundreds of thousands of likes and retweets by multiple users. So clearly this mod caught the eyes of many, and I can definitely see why. The next news is that Tokyo Game Show 2022 has finally been announced, which is regarded as the Japanese E3 Expo. Tokyo Game Show 2022 will run from September 15th to September 18th at Makuhari Messe in Shiba, Japan. Thanks to Next Gen Player for this tweet. He tweeted out, "Tokyo Game Show 2022 exhibitor list is now live. The main hall exhibitors include Bandai Namco, Capcom, Koch Media, Koei Tecmo, Konami, Microsoft, which could be Xbox, Sega, Atlus, and Square Enix. And he does mention that Sony PlayStation won't be present at this show, which is pretty unfortunate. You would think that Sony would be one of the main ones since they really are focused on the Japanese audience, but that doesn't seem to be the case this year. I'm really excited to see what Bandai Namco, Capcom, Konami, Microsoft, Atlus, and Square Enix might bring to the table. The one that catches my eye is Konami. I wonder if they are going to announce anything special, since they own so many IPs that are so beloved by many. Also curious to what Microsoft will announce regarding Xbox, and obviously Sega, they might show something about Sonic Frontiers, maybe more gameplay, and Square Enix might show something regarding Final Fantasy XVI. The last news of today is unfortunately not good news. Reported by TheGamer.com, Rockstar has reportedly shelved Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4 remasters to focus on GTA 6. If you were hoping for a remaster of either Red Dead Redemption or GTA 4, you're probably in for a long wait. According to a new report, remasters of both titles were on the table at Rockstar before the poor reception of GTA Trilogy, the definitive edition. Rockstar is now reportedly focused on GTA 6, although the developer might revisit the possibility of these remasters once GTA 6 has shipped. Now I actually think this might be good news because a lot of people were waiting for GTA 6 for so long. And maybe the majority of people actually think of this as good news, because cancelling these remasters would mean that we would receive GTA 6 sooner rather than later. Do let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Would you rather have these remasters and wait a little longer for GTA 6? Or would you rather them do this instead? That's all the news for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like on this video, as that will help with the YouTube algorithm and help boost the video up. So liking the video really goes a long way. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and don't forget to hit the bell notification icon to never miss any future uploads. That's all from me now, I'll catch you next time.